I've got another video today. Today I'm going to be talking about Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor, and I've got a friend with me. His name's Harry.
So, hello. Like Tom said, we're just going to be discussing mainly my opinion, because obviously you've probably seen Tom's opinions on it.
So, first off, what's your opinions on Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor?
Jodie, well, I think she's a good actress. After seeing her in stuff like Broadchurch, she's decent, but a bit annoying. Black Mirror, she's good, I guess. But I do not like her as the Doctor. There's a moment for every Doctor, I find, that you have a moment where they just click in. For Capaldi,
Definitely.
Capaldi might have been the part on Kill the Moon, actually, where the part with Clara gets angry at her.
Yeah, I think the defining moment for a lot of Doctors can really shape your opinion on them.
Exactly.
I mean,
she has not had that.
No, she hasn't had a defining moment at all. The one for Matt Smith, for me, was that moment where he confronts the Atraxi in the first episode, and he says, "I am the Doctor," and I was like, I accept you now. But she hasn't really had one of those moments.
The closest to that happening was probably in Demons of the Punch-Out.
Yeah.
She was... Yeah.
But even then, you couldn't really say that was definitive like others.
Exactly. And obviously, as most of us sort of hate Chibnall, so...
Yeah, I think the people who do like him because he's the showrunner for the female Doctor.
Exactly.
And not necessarily because his writing's actually any good. Which it isn't, because, frankly, the only things he wrote for Doctor Who before weren't great. I mentioned this in my other discussion. It wasn't great. It was fine, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't great, yeah.
I think he's just a really poor choice for showrunner. Like, at least for Stephen Moffat, when he was announced, he'd written some really good stories.
Yeah, I could stand that episode of that particular series.
Like Blink, Girl in the Fireplace, all these standout episodes. And Chibnall really hasn't done that. But I think therefore he was not equipped enough to write the show. But in terms of Whittaker herself, she just seems to be doing a bad imitation of previous Doctors as well.
A mix of Matt and David, really. Because she's got all the weirdness of Matt, but the sort of, like, personality of David, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, she even said in an interview that doing a Yorkshire accent was too difficult. Not a Yorkshire accent, an English accent, sorry.
Yeah.
Like a proper English accent, like David Tennant did. But my argument is that isn't an actor supposed to be able to act and portray different voices when necessary? You know. And the argument is that Eccleston didn't have to use a different voice, but that voice fit his Doctor. Yeah, it fit his character, whereas with Whittaker I find that I don't really know her character enough.
Exactly.
Like, I can't really think of 5 defining traits for Whittaker, really.
Exactly. Other than maybe getting, I don't know, good with gadgets, good with... oh yeah, exactly, I can't think of anything.
No, I mean, even with the gadgets, like, previous Doctors have had that, especially, like, I was about to say, John Pertwee had that in spades, so that's nothing really unique. She has just not got a character to her. I feel like if Jodie Whittaker was given something good to work with, it might be okay.
Yeah, exactly. If she had, I don't know, Russell as showrunner and some great writers like Moffat in his prime.
Yeah.
She would. Maybe not my favourite Doctor, but good, great, even.
Yeah. I mean, the problem as well is that the reason this move was made and the reason several decisions about Series 11 was made, I believe, is to push the BBC's own agenda, personally.
Yeah.
And that's not really why she should have been cast. She should have been cast because she was the right fit for the role.
Good actor, stroke actress.
Yeah. No,
someone
definitely.
who has a connection to Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's why I tend to think that she was only cast, A, because they wanted to push the agenda, and B, because Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker had already worked together before, so it was easy to just go, right, you're the new Doctor now.
I mean, and when David was cast back in, 2005, he was basically unknown to the general audience. I mean...
Same with Matt Smith, really. He hadn't really done anything...
But, no, I'm saying for people who were fans of the show.
Yeah.
But I think that's... Oh, no, it's because David worked with Russell in... what was it? What was the show he did with him?
Oh, God. I can't remember now. But I see your point, like, he knew that he could play the Doctor.
Exactly.
Like, they both knew that they could play the Doctor. But with Chibnall, don't think he made the right choice in some instances. Even though she's a good actress in other things, I'm saying, I don't think she has the presence to play the Doctor.
Exactly.
Like, she doesn't, like, stand out. Like, the Doctor, to me, should stand out when he's in, when he or she is in an episode.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to tell instantly that is the Doctor. But I don't really get that feeling with Whittaker. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I think because of obviously the fact there's 3 companions now.
Yeah.
And the first episode, 4 companions.
Yeah, that
was... You have to focus on the whole cast, so...
I've said in previous videos that if they cut out 1 or 2 of those companions, that it would easily make a better series, in my opinion.
And with better writing as well.
Yeah, better writing. I think that if they cut out some of the companions, a lot more focus would be on Whittaker.
Yes.
Say again?
I coughed. Yaz, yeah, because I despise Yaz, worst companion. And that's saying a lot when you've had Adric, and I don't hate Clara that much, but yeah.
Bill was just Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Some people really like Bill, but...
I don't really see it. She's fine. I mean, she makes reference to her gender a bit too often for my liking, but other than that, she's fine enough, I suppose. But yeah, I think if they cut out some of the companions, then it would give more time for the new Doctor to develop.
Exactly.
She hasn't really had any development throughout the whole series of Series 11.
She's basically ended where she started already.
Yeah, she hasn't really changed.
Because obviously, most Doctors' first episodes revolve on them trying to find themselves, but she still hasn't found out what this Doctor is. So
no, the audience is still scratching their heads, like, as to what this Doctor is supposed to be.
I mean, I'm not going to go into the whole... Obviously, I'm against the way that the BBC are placing all the political and racial issues, but that is sort of taken away from Jodie as a Doctor.
Definitely. The problem is that I don't like discussing the political stuff too much, but I feel like it's so integral with what's happening with the show at the moment that it kind of has to be mentioned.
Because at least, 3, maybe even 4, 3 episodes I can think of on my head have had political themes to it. Rosa, obviously. I reckon it's in the UK, the whole Trump thing.
Yeah.
And, to an extent, Demons of the Punjab, because of the whole...
Yeah.
It's not really political, but...
I'd say the Witchfinders as well, because they had that whole thing with King Charles being a sexist. Which he probably would have been, but why do we care what people thought 400 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why drag that up now?
Alan Cummings is great. He's probably the best actor that's been in the series.
He was hilarious. I'm just wish he was in a better show.
Yeah, he was my favourite part. One of the best parts of the series, probably.
Yeah, probably. I do like Graham.
Graham's great.
I feel like if it was just the Doctor and Graham, be a much better show.
Yeah.
Ryan's alright, but he doesn't really stand out that much.
Ryan's fine. He's
better than Yaz. So
I'd probably compare him to someone like Martha.
Or Mickey, maybe.
Mickey, possibly, yeah.
Or Rory, one of those secondary companions.
Yeah.
But, I'd also like to add that this Doctor is just really annoying to me in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, she is really...
over the top.
I think the most obvious example of her just explaining something was in It Takes You Away. When, I think it was just after they came out of the weird portal mirror thing.
Yeah.
When she just explains to Yaz everything exactly about what's happened over the past 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's like...
It was so lazy.
It was. The writing's been very lazy. And I think a part of that has been the sonic screwdriver.
Yes.
They literally used that to get out a lot of things, freeze the portal, open the door, The writing team should be thinking far more creatively than that. That's what upsets me about the series the most, is it's the potential that was with it, and it just wasn't fulfilled.
I felt the same happened with maybe Series 9, because before Series 9 came out, we were promised, all two-parters, that's going to be great.
Yeah, so you can really expand on the stories.
But no, I don't mind Series 9 as much. It's probably the fourth worst.
I think I rank it probably slightly lower than that, but I think that's partly because I really don't like the direction they took Capaldi's Doctor, personally.
Yeah.
I made a whole video on why I hate his Doctor in Series 9 and 10. And that he was another wasted potential, although at least he could act,
Yeah, exactly.
At least he could act the part, even if the script wasn't very good. He could carry it.
Yeah, he's... Based on, acting and stuff, Capaldi's easily number one.
Yeah, either him or probably Tennant, because Tennant's been in quite a few things as well.
Yeah.
He's got quite an impressive resume as well. But I can't find a defining quality of this Doctor if I try.
Yeah.
It's so easy with other Doctors, with Matt Smith, he was the jokey one. With David Tennant, he was the charismatic one. With Eccleston, he was war-torn. They all had that core thing that made them their Doctor.
Exactly.
I feel like in years to come, the only thing that Whittaker will be remembered for in this role will be being the first woman.
Yeah. I think that, yeah.
And it's kind of a similar thing to what happened with the Ghostbusters, whereas people just remember that movie as the female...
Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, people literally remember that as the female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Because it had no other defining things about it, But
anyway,
Jodie Whittaker is definitely my least favourite Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I made a whole video on that, and the comments I get in response are so funny.
Yeah, everyone, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm a sexist. It's like, no, I gave pretty good points as to why she's not very good. And that's kind of partially why I'm making this video as well. It's because I want to make my opinions perfectly clear to you people who think that I'm a racist and sexist, because I'm not, I think Olivia Colman would be great.
Olivia Colman would be great.
Yeah.
Who else could be good?
Female
actress.
Scarlett Johansson I could see, but I mean, she's too big now.
Yeah. And she's American. No. I'm not saying it's American, can't make a Doctor.
I've always found that rule a bit stupid, that the Doctor's British every single time.
Yeah.
Not every Time Lord's gonna be British, are they? It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a bit... It just comes down to...
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing an American actor play the Doctor.
Yeah, if they... What, I remember hearing something quite a while ago of Nick Cage being...
Nick Cage. Nicolas Cage.
If Doctor Who was American, basically, and Nick Cage plays the War... No, not the War Doctor, the Ninth Doctor.
I've heard people spreading... Well, like, some people... If the American actors could be cast, apparently Johnny Depp's quite a popular choice, and I'd be like...
Oh, God, no,
I mean, I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I wouldn't be excited for that.
Yeah, so I think I agree with that.
He's more alien than Whittaker, I suppose.
Yeah, especially in his early stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off the topic, aren't we?
Yeah, but Whittaker's just poor to me. You know, the Doctor should be the thing that defines the new era of the show.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, you expect the writing to be good, the Doctor to be good, the companions to be good. Those are the three things you ask for in Doctor Who, and none of those things are delivered, have they?
No. And I'm sick of people saying that they have, when you'd have to be blind to not be able to see the fact that this series has been poor.
Yeah, it is probably easily the weakest series.
And I'm probably going to say that the people who think that it's amazing are either haven't been Doctor Who fans and are just joining the bandwagon, or are watching purely to push the BBC's agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
But Whittaker's definitely the weakest element of the show. I'd honestly prefer Bradley Walsh in the lead role.
Yeah, Bradley Walsh would be amazing as the Doctor.
Because I do really like Graham.
Yeah.
And if he was in a better series of the show, I think it would be far better.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'd love to see him and Capaldi.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
That'd be amazing.
But with Whittaker, I just feel sad whenever I have to talk about her because there's just nothing there.
Because we had such a long gap between series 10 and 11. What?
Yeah, as well. It raises your expectations a gap. It really does. I mean, although I wasn't confident in Tribnall, I thought, maybe he'll be alright when he's the showrunner. No, that didn't. And while I didn't really know Whittaker at the time, I thought that she could be good. No one really knew Matt Smith or David Tennant when they were cast. So I thought,
I think I'd watched Jodie in Black Mirror, but when she was cast as the Doctor, I think about a year ago now, I decided to watch Broadchurch, and it was fine. It was the strongest thing about Broadchurch were the characters in it. I
haven't really watched Broadchurch extensively.
Yeah.
I've had no real desire to.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I just felt like I should watch it just to see what Chibnall's writing was like.
I'll be honest, I've this is probably going to trigger some people saying I'm not a true fan, but I haven't actually watched the series finale yet of Doctor Who because
it's very poor.
I know Tim Shaw's in it, but that's about it. But
it's so predictable that he's going to be in it.
Yeah, I think we can officially say that Series 11 was a failure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can't even get a good actress to play the central role, then you've got a problem.
Exactly.
And she makes really annoying faces as well.
Yes, and the way she holds the sonic screwdriver, she just takes about a couple of seconds to stand up.
To grip it. Yeah.
You see some, not shots, but like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, the way she's just a bit not over the top, but she seems like she's trying too hard to be the Doctor. But
she's clearly trying to do a Tennant imitation in quite a few ways. Yeah,
I imagine like Chris when she first got cast by Chris Chibnall, she says, I've been watching the Doctor. What should I watch? Try watching some David Tennant. She just watches David Tennant and Matt Smith, and that's all she's got.
Throws them into a blender and essentially just goes with it. But she's just got no defining character at all, which is why she's in the bottom of my my ranking of the Doctors. Because
I have to agree with you now.
at least, as bad as Colin Baker was, at least you could say he had a character.
And was good in Big Finish. Listen to Big Finish.
Yeah, I've listened to some of his
I
big...
haven't listened to that much Big Finish, but...
I listened to his Carrionites story. You know, the witches from the David Tennant one?
Yes, that was quite good, actually. I think, yeah, that was from Classic Doctor's New Monsters, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah. That was good. I also listened... This is something of an aside in Big Finish. I also listened to Peter Davison with the Arachnos.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, Big Finish is awesome. Go listen to Big Finish.
Yeah.
And maybe Whittaker will get better in Big Finish when she leaves the role.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of on-screen Doctors that weren't given a fair shake get their redemption in Big Finish.
Yeah, like late McGann, Colin Baker, Peter
I
Davison.
so want a McGann live-action series.
Yes.
I would
think
take that over this any day of the week, to be honest.
Do that in 2019, BBC.
Yeah. You'll probably get higher viewing figures than the actual series.
They should also, you know that they brought Class back in Big Finish?
Yeah.
Why? Nobody wanted another series of Class. I mean,
I only watched one episode of Class and I gave up.
the worst. I'm not sure if it's worse or better than series 11, but...
It's a tough contest.
Bad.
At least that had Capaldi in it.
Exactly.
You know, it had something of quality. But her character is just so... She reminds me of someone at a Comic-Con trying to play the Doctor. Do you know what I mean?
So,
Yeah, she...
wrap this video up?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. She reminds me of a person at Comic-Con trying to do an impression of the Doctor. Because I actually went to Cardiff Comic-Con, and I swear I saw someone like Jodie Whittaker trying to do the Doctor. It's just so... It's so surface level, it's not even funny.
It's basically a parody of the Doctor, more or less.
William Hartnell would be ashamed. He's probably rolling in his grave. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
I like it. It was fun to talk about. We'll have to do another one sometime.
So yeah, some other stuff.
See how I probably do. Maybe we should do like other topics as well. Maybe do some Marvel stuff, some DC stuff. We'll see how this one goes. But thanks for coming on.
Yeah, alright.
And
See you around.
Yep, thank you all for watching.
Right, thanks for watching.